So now just for a quick disclaimer before we get into this video. The video didn't quite go as planned. I started the video off expecting the system to be really good, so did an unboxing, showed how all the hardware is, and then installed it. And only after doing that I discovered it was absolutely dreadful. So I thought I'll put the video up anyway, so I've edited together what I can. So what you'll effectively see is an unboxing of the product before I knew about the issues, and then you'll see a sort of rant of me ranting about the issues that I had with it. So it's not the most polished video ever, but hopefully people might find it vaguely interesting or amusing, laughing at me buying an absolutely dreadful product and having to deal with returning it. So yeah, that's what you're going to see. Now, after this, I returned the system to Maplin, which was not easy. They took about 2.5 weeks to give me a refund, so not overly happy with them either. But after returning it, I've now bought a much higher end sort of professional grade system. So soon there'll be a video of that coming up, which should be a lot more interesting because it's a much more advanced system that actually works really well. So stand by for that. But for now, we'll get into this video where I look at an absolutely useless alarm system. In this video, I'll be doing a full review of this alarm system I've bought, which is the Honeywell HS351S. This is the sort of first time I've used like a wireless alarm system. I've previously used hardwired ones, but I wanted to install something in my flat, so I saw this and thought, look, it looks like quite a good system, so we'll take a look at it. So what we'll do is we'll look at what's in the box, see all the kit you get. I'll then go and set it all up off camera, and then I'll come back with my sort of opinions on how the install went, and then overall how the system works. This particular kit I bought here cost £150 from Maplin, which is technically on sale. They claim the RRP is £210, which actually seems like quite a good deal, and saying good deal and Maplin in the same sentence seems a bit weird, but it does seem about quite a good price because Screwfix sell a very similar kit, but it has one less PIR, one less door sensor, and doesn't include a key fob, and that's £180. So to get all this kit for £150 seems pretty good. And it was quite a bit cheaper than the equivalent Yale system. They also do different versions of it. They do ones that don't include the keypad and only use the key fob and various things like that. I went for this because I did actually want a physical keypad, and it comes with that. And it also comes with a good number of PIRs and door and window sensors. So here's the box. It's a box. We're not going to bother spending too long looking at it. But yep, that's it there. And then it shows you what you get. So this kit includes 3 PIRs, 3 door and window sensors, the outside siren, the internal keypad, which is also another siren, two Rfid tokens to unlock it, as well as a key fob remote. So now let's take a look at what we get. So that's the box there. Just open this up and see what comes with it. So here's what we get with it. The first thing you get is this big sort of quick start guide, which I've already flicked through, and from my first impressions of it, it's absolutely terrible. We'll see how I actually get it set up and how good it actually is when I'm actually doing it. But from trying to understand what I need to do from just looking at this, it's not great. Like, this is how you apparently install the keypad. And what I get from this is, unclip the bracket, screw it to the wall, it's loud, it'll beep twice for some reason, fasten it to the wall, it gets a bit excited for some reason, press that button because you feel like it, and then dial 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, this quick start guide looks a bit useless, so we'll see how easy it actually is to set up. If I find any really bad bits of this and I figure it out, I'll sort of explain how you're actually meant to set it up, so we'll see how I get on. There is a much more detailed instruction as a PDF on Honeywell's website, so if you did get stuck, hopefully that'll have a bit more than this thing. But hopefully it won't be too bad to set up. So we've got the first layer of hardware. So you get the 3 door and window sensors, so these also come as two parts. The idea is you fasten one of these to the door, one of these to the frame, and if they pull apart it'll set the alarm off. These are all battery operated with a little tab that you pull out to activate it. If we pop it open, you can see it takes a standard CR2032 lithium coin cell. And Honeywell claim the accessories here get 2 years of battery life under sort of average use. Obviously it'll vary depending on how much you move around the house and how often you open doors, but 2 years is absolutely fine. I don't mind replacing the batteries that often. So you get 3 door and window sensors. You also get this key fob remote, which is stuck in the box. There we go. Which, I don't know what all the buttons mean so far, but there's like arm, disarm, and a couple of other things. The manual should hopefully explain this. That's the key fob remote. You also get these 2 of these RFID tokens. So the idea is you can put this on your keyring, hold it to the keypad and unset the alarm without having to enter a code. Now with these, I'm almost in two minds of them from the security perspective, because on one hand it's really easy, it's nice and convenient, but on the other hand, and I'm probably being overly paranoid, but say I was out and someone stole my wallet and my keys. If this was on my keyring, they would therefore have the keys to my flat, the fob to disable the alarm system, and then they'd also have my address because it would be in my wallet. So it's unlikely that would happen, but it does, if you are using this, it is worth bearing in mind that you are effectively putting the fob to disable your alarm on the same keyring as your keys. So I might use this, or I might just stick with using a physical code on it, because then that's not something someone can steal because it's in my head. Next we get the actual panel. So we'll take a look at this. So here's the panel. So you get the buttons on the front. It's capacitive touch, which we'll see how well that works. I quite like having physical buttons because on something like this, if you're putting a code in, it's quite nice being tactile. So we'll see how well this works. I'm assuming it's going to be backlit or something because I don't fancy having to turn a light on to unset the alarm. But we'll see how well this works when it's actually set up. But it does look quite stylish, like against a wall. And there's the key fob sensor and various buttons. So these are all buttons, and then these are sort of indicators for status. And it doesn't have fire detection capability in this kit, but you can supposedly buy smoke detectors from Honeywell, and then at that point can be used for fire detection as well, which is quite a nice idea. On the back there's then just this bracket. It's also worth mentioning this does also double up as a Siren, so you can use that if you want. So I've just opened up the back of the keypad to show what's inside, and you can see it takes 8 AA's, which should hopefully give good battery runtime. I think Honeywell claim this will get about a year under sort of standard use of like setting and unsetting it 3 times a day. But what you also get, which is quite nice, is in there's a micro USB connection. So what that means is you can actually power this from the mains just using a standard micro USB power supply. Now what Honeywell say is you can either use that permanently, or what they've actually recommended is if you're doing a lot of work with the keypad, to then plug it in. So you could have it, and that's what I'll be doing, so I'll have it normally just running on battery, so I don't have to worry about finding a power supply for it. But if I'm actually setting the system up or doing a bunch of configuration, I can then plug it in and save the battery when I'm actually using the keypad for long periods of time. So that is quite nice, and then there's a sort of channel to route a cable out. So you could actually like properly mains power this part if you wanted to. And that'll be the sort of power hungry piece. The sensors don't really use much, so they'll last forever on battery. So under here we'll then see what else we get. So here we get the PIRs. There's 3 of these. Fairly nice little things. And the idea is you can sort of either screw them to the wall, or you can use sort of sticky pads. And these sloped edges mean you can fit it in the corner of a room. And then if you press the button on the bottom, it splits in 2, comes out. That's the bit you mount to the wall, and there's PIR. And inside you can see it takes 3 AA batteries, or sorry, 3 AAA's, and has like an anti-tamper switch there. So if it was pulled off the wall, it would tell the controller. So yep, that's the PIRs. Now under here we get a bag of accessories. So you get probably it's a warranty card or something. Yeah, it's all just a boring warranty type paperwork. You then get a set of window stickers you can stick on your windows that just say it's alarmed, just a sort of visual deterrent thing. You then also get these coloured stickers that they're designed to put on your RFID tokens for some reason. I don't know why you'd want to colour code them, but you can. And then you get this bag of screws, which is actually quite nice because each bag is labelled with what it's for. So like you can see that there's labelled, so that's for the keypad or the Siren. So everything's reasonably split up, so it explains what screws go for what piece of hardware. So that's quite nice. And finally under here we get the Siren itself, which is larger than I thought it would be, but it probably won't look as big when it's stuck to the building. That's it there. It's quite nice. So you've got the big strobe on the bottom, and then it's quite a simple design, just says Honeywell, so it's not fluorescent yellow or something like the Yale ones were, so it shouldn't look too bad. On the back, there's a big anti-tamper switch, so when it's on the wall, that gets pressed in, and if it was pulled off the wall, that would release and it would set the alarm off. There's then a battery compartment here we'll take a look at, see what battery it contains. I think it's D cells, I think this bit takes. take this out. It's also worth noting there's actually the way you mount this, there's a metal plate that hooks onto the back of this. You mount that to the wall and then you hook this on. I've already mounted the metal plate on the wall outside just because it was getting dark and I didn't fancy drilling holes in the wall in the dark, so I put that up earlier. But yeah, there's this big metal plate, so you put the plate on the wall and hook this into it and then put a single screw to fasten that on. So mounting this on the wall isn't actually too bad. And yep, inside here you can see there's 4 D cells. Are they D cells? Yeah, 4 D cells. And then there's a learn switch, which you would use that to program a new sensor to the keypad and allow the system to acknowledge its existence. Apparently all the stuff that comes in the kit is pre-learned, so you won't actually need to use that. All this stuff should just automatically work out of the box. So there we go, that's everything that comes with the kit. So what I'll now do is go and set all this up and install it, and then I'll come back with my sort of opinions on how well it all works and how easy it is to install. And we are back with the system installed. Now, this is happening a bit sooner than I thought. I was initially planning on, going away for a few weeks, or a few days, maybe to a week, use the system and just see how we get on with it and then report any issues I find over that period of time. However, I've been setting this up for 4 hours, and after 4 hours of setting it up, I found so many issues that there's no point even waiting a week. It's just rubbish. So we'll go through a few of the issues I found with it, and then I'll explain why I would not recommend this system. And I will be taking this back tomorrow morning, and I'll be buying a different one. So I will do a review of the new system I buy later. I'll probably get a Yale or something like that. There'll be a full video of that when it's out, but yeah, this Honeywell system is just dreadful. So I've installed everything, and it all installed really easily. Everything mounted nicely. There's no major issues mounting the hardware. And it all looks really nice. It's all quite elegant. Like, this panel's really neat. It sort of blends in. I'm really happy with the design, and actually the hardware seems really good. But it's just really unreliable. So there's a few issues I've found. The first one is that the signal strength between this controller and the Siren outside is really bad. So between this Siren and this box and the Siren is maybe about 5 meters of room. Then there's a brick wall and a Siren. Now, it should be able to penetrate that. That's a standard thing. This is like a 2-bedroom flat. This system's designed to be installed in like large houses where you'd have this downstairs and the Siren on the top floor. So there's no way that the signal shouldn't be expected to go this distance that it is doing here. But it seems to have issues. So I've tested the Siren test function. Sometimes the Siren won't activate. In fact, I used to have this box at the other side of this room, and that was too far for it. So I actually moved it to here, and it now works some of the time, but it's just really unreliable. So sometimes when you test the Siren, it won't go off at all. Then other times, which is really fun, is it sends a signal to the Siren to switch on, the Siren switches on, but then the Siren doesn't receive the signal to switch off, so you end up with a Siren that's stuck on, which is ideal when it's got like a 3-minute timeout set on it. So that's the major issue I've found with it. So I could potentially get around that if I moved this to the other side of the room and put it like right on the other side of the wall from the Siren. But it's still too unreliable even for that. So the other issues I found is this touch panel. I mentioned it when I first got it out of the box that I was a bit suspicious of this because you can't really feel for the tactile buttons. Now, style-wise, it's lovely. So you press the service button, for example. If you press the numbers, it might not show up on camera there, but they actually all light up as you put the number in. So it looks really elegant. But the problem is that when you put in the number, sometimes the buttons don't respond. So it can just be really weird, and it'll get into a state where it just won't respond to touch for a good while until eventually it comes back to life again. Now, that's particularly annoying when it's set the Siren off and you're trying to switch the system off because the touch thing isn't responding. And you can't even disarm it with a fob when it's in that state. The whole thing just locks up. So that's incredibly annoying. The other problem I found is tamper protection. It has a tamper protection function, which makes sense. If you pull this off the wall or pull any sensor off the wall, the whole system will go off, even if the system's disarmed. That's a really elegant system, so if someone's fiddling with it, it will go off. And you can put the system into service mode and then you can actually start taking things apart, so that's really good. However, I found weirdly, if I'm in the service menu and then I exit the service menu, sometimes the tamper protection gets triggered, but it'll come up as saying either one of the PIRs or one of the door sensors has had its tamper protection triggered. and the whole system will go off completely. But I can't see it being any of those sensors. I've checked them all. None of them are like lit up saying the tamper protection's gone off. And it seems to vary between what sensor it says has had its tamper protection triggered. So just randomly when you're using it, the whole system just goes off. So it's actually got to the stage that while I'm testing this, I've switched the external siren off because it was just triggering so much. And even then, this panel keeps going off. It's got to the stage, literally next to me right now, I've got a pile of pillows and blankets, so that when this panel goes off, because it kept doing it, I could rip it off the wall and like smother it in the pillows to unset it to stop annoying my neighbours. So yeah, it's just unusable. It's a neat system, it's really elegant and it looks lovely, but it's just so unreliable, it's just I cannot recommend it at all. So what I'll now need to do is need to disconnect all this and take it back, which is really annoying. I spent way more time on this than I would have normally done. Normally if I would have noticed these issues, it would have gone back straight away. But the problem is I've already installed this throughout the flat. So there's 3 PIRs mounted, a bunch of door sensors mounted, a siren mounted to the outside of the building, this thing mounted in the hall, and there's another set of screw holes where this used to be mounted in the hall before I moved it to try and fix the signal strength issue. So there's so much work I need to do to take the system back out again, take it back to Maplin, and then try and buy a new system. But realistically, that's all I can do, because I just do not have any faith in it. Even if I could maybe get it sort of working and figure out why it's doing that tamper triggering and fix the signal strength issue to the siren, I just wouldn't trust this. I wouldn't trust leaving this thing switched on, going out, and not having it go off. And especially where I live, it's in an area surrounded by loads of flats with loads of people around. And the last thing I want this thing doing is for me to be out at work one day and this thing to randomly set itself off and really annoy everyone around about. Because, I mean, I've lived next to people with broken burglar alarms and it's annoying. So I do not want this thing. So, yep. What I need to do is disconnect all this, take all the PIRs down, fill in all the holes from behind everything, and then take it back to Maplin in the morning. And then hopefully I'll go and find a new system and replace it. So, thanks for watching. It's definitely been a sort of the video didn't quite go as planned, but now you've seen my sort of impressions of this video, of this alarm system, and hopefully there'll be a new video reviewing a new system coming soon. So yeah, thanks for watching.